E-Content Development Course, Business Research Methods. Topic: Introduction to Research Design. Introduction planning is essential for any successful execution. Whether the task is simple or complex, plans make it more amicable. Deciding about next day's morning breakfast, planning a holiday tour, preparing blueprint of a building before starting construction are some instances where planning will be either in implied form or in expressed form. Research, whether relating to business, social science or pure science, also requires deciding about course of action before actually starting it. Based on the objectives of research, a plan of action for research is prepared and followed. Such expressed formal frame of plan for a research is nothing but a research design. Research design helps to adopt scientific methods and thereby makes research more replicable, valid and accurate. Without proper research design, a researcher ends up in a mess. Accuracy, adequacy, economy and efficiency are achieved through good research design. Research design is simply planning about the way in which researcher moves towards research objectives. A research design is a series of action plans to be followed during the entire process of research. A good research design enhances the quality of the research by selecting most appropriate alternative at each stage of research. It is the chain link of choices which researcher makes to conduct research. It is planning the journey of research. Some of the definitions of research design are discussed to understand the term research design more appropriately. Definitions of research design. Bernard Phillips defines the research design as a blueprint for the collection, measurement and analysis of data. According to S.L. Gupta and Hitesh, a research design provides a flow of activities from problem formulation to hypothesis development to data collection to data analysis to final results to implications. In the words of Kurlinger, research design is a plan and structure of investigation so conceived as to obtain answers to research questions. The plan is the overall scheme or program of the research. It includes an outline of what the investigator will do from writing hypotheses and their operational implications to the final analysis of data. Kurlinger, 1986. According to Celtis, Deutsch and Cook, a research design is the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in a manner that aims to combine relevance to the research purpose with economy in procedure. C. Celtis, M. Jahoda, and S. W. Cook, 1962. Green and others defines research design as the specification of methods and procedures for acquiring the information needed. It is overall operational pattern or framework of the project that stipulates what information is to be collected from which source by what procedures. Green and Tull, 1986. Research design expresses both the structure of the research problem, the framework, organization or configuration of the relationship among variables of a study, and the plan of investigation used to obtain empirical evidence on those relationships. IBIC. Features of research design. From the definitions discussed, it is clear that research design is a blueprint of the entire research, from initial stage of hypothesis formulation to final step of data collection, analysis and reporting. Research design is a strategy that researcher uses to identify, explore, and confirm about problems being studied. It is the research map that decides about process of data collection, tools of analysis, and way of presentation. Research design is the scientific and time-bound framework that a researcher follows to collect evidences of the research problem. It is synchronizing data collection and analysis to obtain research evidence. Research design integrates all efforts of the researcher towards research objective. Through research design, reliable results are obtained with aim of generalization. In brief, research design has the following features. Research design is explicit organization or orderly arrangement of series of action plans of research. Research design explores unseen research facets, thus provides better understanding of research situation and gives clarity over the research problem. This in turn helps to frame or reframe objectives and hypotheses of research in a more valid and feasible manner. Research design is the set of sequential stages at which decisions about information or data collection is to be made. The type of data to be collected, sources of the data, method or technique used to collect the data, target group or the response group needed to conduct an inquiry, etc. are decided within time frame. It includes series of functions. Completion of each task and its outcome enables researcher to continue next stage of research with confidence. Research design helps to identify any possible hurdles in research process and thereby provides better solution to the hurdle. Research design also constitutes the outline of the data analysis stage and presenting it in relation to the objectives of the study. It is justification and rationale at which researcher confirms and ensures that study has been conducted with utmost objectivity, accuracy, and scientific rigor. Research design also includes the cost and time within which the research can be completed without compromising in quality and budget of the research. Research design not only supports researcher but also communicates it to others about how well a research has been conducted, how critical choices made are justifiable, how findings are reliable, and thus how a generalization is possible and conclusion is drawn. Stages of research design. Research design includes various steps or stages through which research proceeds. Successful completion of each stage helps the researcher to decide and move towards next stage. Prolonged laborious research task is divided into verifiable subtasks. This provides clarity to the researcher to conduct further research process with confidence. The research design can be understood in 6 phases or stages. 1. Problem identification and specification. 2. Framing research design. 3. Sample design and selection. 4. Data collection. 5. Data analysis. 6. Report writing. The diagram clearly shows the steps or stages of research design. It starts from problem identification. Entire research design is based on the problems and objectives of the research. The second stage is formulating research design, where scheme of whole research work is drawn. Then it follows sequentially to sample selection, data collection, data analysis and reporting stage. Diagram 1. Stages of research design. Let us discuss each stage in detail. 1. Problem identification and specification. The first step starts with problem identification. Based on the literature review and understanding of the situation, broad area of problem is identified. Once problem area is identified, researcher converts it into a research question. On the basis of specific research problem, formulates objectives of study. Objectives are based on problem identified. This is the startup of any research which dictates further research process. Once the objectives of the research are crystal clear, then hypotheses are formulated. Objectives are expressed more precisely in a statement form. Hypothesis is a statement of research question. Variables are identified in relation to the hypothesis. Relationship is established among the study variables. Variables are identified and defined in order to have clarity over the next stages of research. Defining and measuring variable is the major task, which will direct the data collection and analysis. The tasks under problem identification are represented diagrammatically. Diagram 2: Problem Identification Process. Identifying broad problem, selecting area, research question. Framing research objectives. Identifying research variables. Defining research variables, measuring research variables. Research hypothesis formulation. Once the problem identification task is properly done, research goal will be clear and focused. Thereby, other stages of research design will be easier. This helps to decide about series of actions like what is relevant, what data is to be collected, how it is to be collected, and how data is examined. Illustration. The importance of problem identification, specification, and definition in a research can be understood with the following example easily. Let us consider a research problem in a broad way like this. Why is result of girls is higher than boys in Karnataka? In the above research question, there are many ambiguities, such as what result is referred to, in which stage the result is referred to, what period of time it relates to. Thus, given research problem is too general to analyze and has to be relooked and framed clearly with more specifications. What factors are responsible for higher pass result of female students than that of male students in SSLC board exam from 2005 to 2015 in Karnataka? Thus, this improved version of problem statement makes further research process easier. Concepts like result, pass, students, etc. should be defined to make research more focused, so that next stage of measurement and data collection becomes easier. 2. Framing research design based on the objectives of the research and nature of variables. Research framework is prepared. It is an explicit intentional course of action to be followed sequentially to complete the research journey and thereby reach the destination. It explains the action plan for data collection and analysis. Research design establishes a scheme of action to be undertaken to confirm that research questions are addressed in a systematic and scientific manner. It makes sure that research evidences are reflections of actual situation that leads to reliable and accurate research results and thereby offers feasible solutions. Entire research design revolves around collection of relevant data and putting it in appropriate form. Planning, data collection, and analysis are the important sub-stage of research design that directs further research. Based upon the requirement of research, researcher decides about type of research design adoptable, exploratory, descriptive, causal, etc. This will be discussed later sessions in detail. Identifying relationship of variables. Research question. 3. Sample design. Next stage is sample design and selection. Decision about target group and selection of sample is a crucial stage of research which catalyzes the research process. Size of sample and technique of sampling influences the selection of method of data collection and tools for data analysis. Who are the response groups? How many responses are needed? how to select the response units, how to approach them. All these questions are addressed scientifically. The following diagram explains clearly what sort of decisions are to be taken at this stage. In this diagram, researcher has to decide whether to collect data from all units of study or to select among them, which is nothing but choice between census and sample. If only few are selected, then should decide on how many responses are essential to test the hypotheses. Whether a small sample, less than 30, is enough or has to go for large sample, more than 30. Researcher has to decide whether to use probability sampling or to use non-probability sampling. Diagram: sample stage alternatives. Illustration: let us consider previous illustration about problem identification. We have to collect data pertaining to SSLC result of a specific period. If we intend to collect data of all students during that period, then it is census. To be more precise, census means data of each and every SSLC student from each and every school present in Karnataka are collected. Instead, if we are going to get the required data from some selected representative group, then it is sample. In our example, if we are selecting the students whose results are to be taken up for the study based on our convenience, it is non-probability sampling. If we are selecting it randomly, then we are using probability sampling. 4. Data collection. Once we know from whom data is to be collected, then we move to the next stage, that is data collection. Sources and methods of data collection are predetermined to avoid collection of irrelevant data and waste of time. Data collection method, source and instrument are selected scientifically to achieve reliability and validity. Sources of primary and secondary data are identified. Data collection tools are decided to make research more justifiable. Planning data collection stage is crucial because entire research result depends on this. Any error or negligence will impact whole research negatively. Following questions are answered and decisions are taken on scientific base. How to start the data collection? Whether to follow exploratory or descriptive design, what type of data is needed, qualitative or quantitative? What is the source of data, primary or secondary? How to collect, questionnaire, interview? The diagram below explains what factors are to be considered at data collection stage. Diagram 1. Design for data collection. In our example, if we are getting data of SSLC result of students directly from response group, then we are using primary source. If we are taking results from school records like marks register, then we are using secondary source of data. Likewise, if we are collecting data on marks, which can be expressed numerically, it is quantitative data. On the other hand, if we are collecting data on academic interest of student, then it is qualitative data since it is not numerical. 5. Data analysis. Once the data collection is complete, data are sorted and arranged properly to facilitate further analysis. Editing, coding and decoding of data are done once data is collected. Depending upon the nature of data, distinct methods of analysis are used for qualitative and quantitative data. Software programs like SPSS, Excel, etc. are utilized for majority of quantitative analysis. Formulated hypotheses are tested with suitable tools which clearly help to suggest a course of action required. The following diagram shows the factors influencing on the selection of data analysis tool. In the diagram, It is clear that the selection of a tool for data analysis depends on various factors like nature of variable, type of variable, size of sample, nature of distribution of data, and so on. Tools vary with dependent and independent variable. Analysis tool will be different for large sample and small sample. Nature of distribution of data guides whether to select a parametric tool or non-parametric tool. Diagram 2 designed for data analysis. 6. Report writing, data collection, and analysis provides all necessary facts and figures which are compiled and report is written. Research report is a mirror of research work. Entire efforts of research are captured and presented through research report. It is just like a photo which explains the quality of camera and expertise of cameraman. Simple, clear, and objective reporting enhances the value of a research. Reports help for future research and it extends the research area. Tables, charts, diagrams, and other aids are utilized to make report more understandable. Good language and orderly presentation are essential to integrate the various sections of report. References, bibliographic note, source note, etc. not only help to examine the authenticity of research but proves useful for further research. Researcher should use his expertise to explain the research results, its implications, and provides solutions. Recommendations and suggestions are helpful for present work, but it guides future research work. Conclusion: research design is indispensable for any research. Research design is essential to carry out research in a smooth way. It not only helps to proceed but also gives confidence to the researcher about his choice of alternative course of action at each stage. It anticipates hurdles and provides the better alternative at each step. It is the one which makes research more appropriate and to reach quality benchmark within stipulated budget and time. Research design is a sequential action plan for a research. Research design should be unbiased and suitable for research problem. Proper research design helps to choose right action and thereby achieves efficiency with economy. Research design starts from problem identification and proceeds to reporting. Problem identification, research design, sample design, data collection, data analysis, and reporting are various stages of research design. To put it in a nutshell, research design is plan for data collection and analysis. Thus, research design addresses alternatives at data collection and analysis stage and facilitates to application of most appropriate and justifiable choice to make research more valid and replicable.